Now at 9, a high-speed chase at over 100 miles per hour ends in tragedy near Seneca.
The city of Joplin holds its first ever State of the Community address. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll give you an inside look coming up.
The future of Greenland is on the line as top officials from the island meet with Vice President Vance and Secretary Rubio at the White House. I'm Rebecca Castor with the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Parsons chief of police condemns a drive-by shooting that put innocent lives at risk in a neighborhood where families and children live. This is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. Chief Robert Spink says the gunfire erupted last night over a $20 marijuana deal, and now 2 people are in custody. It started last night with reports of gunfire in the 2600 block of Stevens Avenue. Officers stopped a vehicle matching the description, and during the stop, officers found multiple firearms, including a stolen rifle, drugs, and ammunition in the vehicle. They also found multiple shell casings at the scene, both in the driveway and on the sidewalk. Officers say there were several people in the home at the time, including children. No injuries were reported. In a statement issued today, Chief Spink said, quote, "Instead of focusing on how close we came to losing innocent lives, some may try to minimize or deflect responsibility. Let me be clear. There is nothing petty about rounds being fired in a neighborhood where families and children live," end quote. The investigation is ongoing. A high-speed chase from Oklahoma into Missouri ends in a fatal crash near Seneca. Authorities chased the pickup, a possible DWI, at speeds over 100 miles per hour. Troopers continued the chase onto a dirt road where the pickup crashed into a dry creek bed. 2 people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver, Luther Sherman of Joplin, later died from his injuries. Meteorologist Austin Stantz joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. If you're feeling like you need an extra blanket out there tonight, oh, you're feeling the temperature drop. 25 degrees nearly in the last 24 hours, so it's chilly out there tonight. Winds directly out of the north right now. Temperatures right around that freezing level right now. Heading out the door tomorrow morning, going to see temperatures, not going to see any rainfall out there, but going to see temperatures right around 20 degrees by 8 o'clock in the morning. But what is it going to feel like out there? As you're waking up tomorrow morning, it is going to feel like 15 degrees. So you're going to want to bundle up. You're going to need the jacket. You also need to have, maybe a scarf, gloves on. You should be able to shed it by the afternoon, as we're going to see some of those temperatures begin to warm up into the mid-40s by the afternoon. But coming up, we'll talk about how long these cold temperatures will stick around and just how dangerously cold the weekend could be.
All right, thanks, Austin. Well, the city of Joplin hosts its first ever State of the Community event today. It was a chance for city leaders to discuss major challenges and future plans with residents. KOAM's Kenny Foreman reports on the inaugural event and what officials hope to accomplish.
For a first-time event, City Manager Nick Edwards left feeling confident in his ability to keep citizens up to date.
Every resident appreciates transparency, appreciates communication about what's going on in the city, and so this was kind of a moment for us to talk about the things that we've accomplished and the things that we're planning to do ahead, and we want to have thoughtful engagement.
Throughout the morning, both the mayor and the city manager emphasized that citizen input is key in helping the city accomplish its goals.
I hope we've shown our accessibility to residents, whether it be through different survey processes or through meetings or even with the mayor and the council participating in meetings. We try to be accessible so that we're understanding the community's thoughts and feelings.
Major points addressed included public safety, economic opportunity, and addressing homelessness. Additionally, custodial worker Rhonda Hefner was recognized as Employee of the Year.
I'm shocked. I mean, I feel like I love my job, and I was told from early childhood that if you get a job and you like it, do it well, and it'll all be worth it. And that's the way it is.
Mayor Keenan Cortez expressed optimism for his city going forward, citing its ability in overcoming challenges.
The pandemic happened in early 2020, and it kind of set some of that momentum backwards a little bit. But now we're coming out of that, and we're on the other side, and we've laid the foundation for the next level of progress in our community. So, okay, everybody, the stage is set. Come get on the boat with us and let's go forward.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Mayor Cortez says he hopes to continue connecting with the community through more events, newsletters, and open city council meetings. Well, outside today's State of the Community event, a group from the Hopeful Bites continued to feed people while others associated with Hopeful Bites demonstrated against the city's treatment of homeless residents. The protesters also criticized today's $25 admission fee, saying it puts community information behind a paywall.
That we don't think it's right to basically put the knowledge of what's happening in our city behind a paywall, essentially, you know what I mean? I'm broke, I ain't got $25, and I'd love to know what's being said. Many of us don't have the kind of money for that and would still love to know what's being said.
The city stated that the video of the event will be available later this week. Coming up, the potential for an Iran conflict escalates.
The U.S. pulling some of its personnel out of the Middle East as it weighs a possible military strike against Iran. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
But up first, why so many blue states are rejecting federal recommendations for childhood vaccinations.
Looking for your next job? Visit KOAMNewsNow.com.
A growing number of Democrat-led states are rejecting new federal health recommendations regarding childhood vaccinations. The back and forth is leaving parents and providers uncertain of which guidelines to follow. Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff reports.
In a break from public health precedent, at least 17 states are rejecting the CDC's scaled-back childhood vaccine schedule. Last week, 6 routine immunizations, including for the flu, rotavirus, and hepatitis A and B, were reclassified for healthy kids from broadly recommended to based on physician consult. The CDC maintains that vaccine access and federal insurance coverage will remain.
When the recommendation says you have to consult somebody, there are drugstores, there are CVS's, there are all kinds of places that are much more cautious in offering the shot.
New York is among a coalition of politically aligned northeastern states vowing to ignore the CDC revision, saying it leaves children more vulnerable to preventable illness and death. The group will rely instead on the previous recommendation of 17 vaccines under the guidance of the American Academy of Pediatrics. A West Coast alliance will do the same, along with several other Democrat-run states and New Hampshire, which has a Republican governor.
What we did is we took the vaccines that are the vaccines that other countries give, our peer nations in Europe, where there's great science.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the vaccine revision aligns the U.S. with other developed nations like Denmark. A comparison Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican and physician, dismisses.
Anyone that thinks that our country is like Denmark when it comes to the need for vaccines has never actually lived with American people beyond those who are wealthy and well-to-do.
While the federal government does not have the power to mandate certain vaccines, states do. That's most visible in public school requirements. So if a state is pushing back on the CDC's revision, their school policies will likely remain unchanged. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
If you're trying to quit smoking for your New Year's resolution, a smartphone app may help. A study published by the British Medical Journal found apps are 3 times more effective at helping people stop smoking long-term compared to having no or minimal support. The apps may be a cheaper and easier option for smokers who want to quit but cannot afford counseling. New federal data shows fewer Americans are signing up for Affordable Care Act coverage. Around 22.8 million people have enrolled for 2026, down 1.4 million from last year. The drop comes as millions face sharp premium increases after Congress failed to extend federal subsidies. The House passed a bill to extend subsidies for 3 years. Its fate now rests with the Senate. Austin is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Kansas City man rents out his home and moves back home with mom and dad. The World Cup opportunity he calls too big to miss.
We saw some major changes compared to our forecast yesterday. Cold front pushed through, bringing some gusty winds today, 45 miles per hour. Had to watch out for some flying trash cans today. Now, cold, dense air is fairly heavy. It sits at the bottom of the surface and will actually flow underneath warm air. So if you dump water kind of down a hill, that's how you can imagine cold air just flows right underneath. Now, it's cold, or it's denser and heavier, so that creates high pressure at the surface. That high pressure going to continue moving south. I'll tell you what though, this cold front continues moving southeast. Central Florida tomorrow morning, looking at temperatures around 32 degrees, so right around that freezing level. It's going to be chilly, and you can only imagine what that means it's going to be like for our region. Overnight tonight, 21 degrees by 4 a.m., 22 by 6. We're looking at an overnight low right around 20 degrees. What it's going to feel like out there, though, 15 degrees here in Joplin, 13 in Nevada, 12 in Springfield. So if you're heading out early in the morning, make sure you're bundling up out there as you're heading out the door. Now, you're going to, whether or not you do hot or iced coffee, I'm recommending the hot coffee at our KOA coffee shop tomorrow. You can opt for the quick brew or the Bach blend. Those are some good choices there, but I'll tell you what, hot coffee going to be the hot commodity tomorrow morning. 20 degrees out there, sunny and cold start for us, but we're going to see things warm up. Take a look at this, 47 degrees for our high tomorrow, a breezy afternoon. Wind's going to pick back up around 15. Could see an isolated gust around 20 miles per hour for tomorrow. Let's take a look at those winds because it's going to play a big impact as we head into the weekend. So by 6 a.m., things are relatively calm across the region for us, but by the afternoon, isolated gusts around 20 miles per hour can't be completely ruled out. As we head into Friday, though, winds picking back up out of the northwest here, could see gusts around 30 miles per hour, and then into the weekend, Saturday, winds around 30. That's going to feel like pins and needles. We'll talk about why in just a second. Heading into Thursday afternoon, temperatures mid to upper 40s across the area. Winds out of the southwest, you notice there, but we're going to see a weak system begin to move in here. That's going to bring our winds back out of the northwest. Isolated light shower can't be completely ruled out Thursday night into Friday morning. We'd be talking about, I don't know, maybe 1/100 of an inch of rain there. Heading into Saturday, though, can't rule out a few flurries there. Temperatures really falling there. We're seeing our next system begin to move in here. Look at our flow coming right out of the north, bringing in all that cold air for us. Now, temperatures heading into the weekend. Look at this. 2 degrees is what it's going to feel like overnight Saturday into Sunday. That's with the wind chill out there. Could even be below zero at times. Heading into Sunday, we're at 35 degrees. We will start warming back up as we head into next week. 34 Monday, back to 45 on Tuesday, and then into the 50s by the middle part of next week.
I'm looking forward to that warm up already, but I mean, we got to be prepared for this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll be purchasing the Bach blend. Hot coffee, keep myself warm.
I'll definitely have, I might want some of that quick brew though. All right, McDonald County businesses learn how to protect themselves from rising crime trends at a free chamber training session today. The McDonald County Chamber hosted its latest Lunch and Learn event this afternoon, part of a series the Chamber has been offering for the past 2 to 3 years. Today's guest speaker was McDonald County Prosecuting Attorney Malia Cheney, who spoke about crime trends her office is seeing and how local businesses can better protect themselves.
Businesses need to be informed of better ways to protect themselves, things that are happening around the county. And it's not just about business. We want people in the county to be informed about everything that goes on in the county, not just necessarily directly affecting their business.
The Chamber is one of the few in the region offering these sessions at no cost. Well, unanimous vote gives the Missouri farmers stable property taxes through 2028. Coming up next, why agriculture leaders call it a major victory. Farmers and ranchers in Missouri are getting some tax relief after a ruling from a state commission. Chris Bryan takes a look at how this could help farmers across the Show Me State.
It is a big win, particularly at a time when there's so much uncertainty in production agriculture in Missouri.
The Missouri State Tax Commission voted unanimously to keep agricultural land productivity values the same through 2028.
This past fall, we saw pretty extreme volatility in the market as a result of trade conversations. And so it was a reminder as we went before the State Tax Commission that agriculture is a volatile business.
Currently in Missouri, agricultural real estate is assessed at 12% of its productivity value.
The one thing to remember is farm and ranch families have multiple vehicles, they have homes, they have all those things, and they're paying those taxes too. And there's no sense of increasing, enhancing their tax burden when they're just trying to make a living and trying to provide safe, affordable, and nutritious food.
For farmers, the predictable property taxes will give them stable land values, helping them plan for the present and the future.
This is not one of those things where you can say the big guys win and the little guys lose. It's everybody wins.
The Missouri Tax Commission looks at agriculture land taxation every 2 years. While it received unanimous support from the Tax Commission, the issue must still be approved by the Missouri General Assembly.
Listen to Governor Keogh in the State of the State last night. He was talking about taxation and where you can have growth and you can have productivity and you can have all of that while still reducing the tax burden to Missourians and to farm and ranch families. You can do both.
Productivity values constant for farm ground here in the state is really important at this juncture, again, given the uncertainty and frankly just the ongoing skyrocketing operating costs for us to be able to farm and ranch. Everything we touch over the last few years has increased by double digits.
Well, Kansas launches a $10 million AI program to detect firearms in schools within seconds. The Safe and Secure Firearm Detection Program uses AI-powered systems with security camera software to monitor campuses. According to the Kansas Attorney General, the technology detects only openly displayed firearms, not facial recognition. A monitoring center verifies threats 24/7 and alerts staff and law enforcement in 3 to 5 seconds with images and threat location. Schools can apply now on a first-come, first-served basis. For application information, head to KOAMnewsnow.com. President Trump signs bipartisan legislation into law requiring the National School Lunch Program to now include whole milk and 2% milk as options. The signing of the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act reverses an Obama-era policy which limited public schools to only offer fat-free and low-fat milk. The law was voted on unanimously by Congress last year, and now schools will have more opportunity to serve non-dairy milks as well. The president signed the act alongside American farmers who are commending the move. The National School Lunch Program provides low-cost or free meals to school students. Fat-free and low-fat milk will still be included in provided options. Well, beef and coffee prices are driving grocery costs up. Ground beef prices rose nearly 16% last year and steaks jumped 15%. That's according to Labor Department data. President Trump aimed to lower beef prices last fall, but costs climbed as ranchers cut herds during tough times. Coffee prices increased 20% despite tariff cuts on Brazilian imports. Egg prices fell over 31% due to fewer bird flu cases. And the Detroit Auto Show is changing as American automakers rethink electric and hybrid strategies. Stellantis just announced it's ending plug-in hybrids for key models while bringing back the powerful Hemi V8 engine in trucks. The new CEO pledged a $13 billion investment and 5,000 jobs by 2029. Now, meanwhile, Ford is pausing its electric F-150 amid falling EV sales. Coming up next, Seroptimus International stakes their claim on comedy for a cause. The camp fundraiser that promises to be intensely funny. Seroptimus International of Joplin proves laughter is the best medicine and the best fundraiser too. In February, the group will host the 10th annual Comedy for Camp and S'more event at the Cornell Complex. This event provides an opportunity for the community to help make an impact by supporting programs that help local foster children and empowering women.
Seroptimus Club has 3 major programs that we do to help others in our community. Our main program is Camp Seroptimus, which is a week-long summer camp every year at the last week of July. And so we help bring together local foster children in the area and give them a week where they can just feel normal and be a kid.
Well, the Comedy for Camp event is Friday, February 20th with opening act Jodie Fuller and the headliner Kevin Farley. Tickets are on sale now. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Diplomatic tensions rise as Trump pursues Greenland while Denmark strengthens island defenses. And the Trump administration moves troops as the Iran regime kills thousands of protesters.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Will Greenland become part of the United States? That was the topic at a high-stakes meeting, White House meeting today with foreign leaders, Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary Marco Rubio. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has details from Washington.
The president has made his view clear, and we have a different position.
If President Trump has his way, Alaska may no longer be the only Arctic territory in the United States. He has his sights set on Greenland, writing on social media, quote, "It is vital for the Golden Dome that we are building. NATO should be leading the way for us to get it."
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will, and I'm not letting that happen.
He should mind his own business.
He has to back off, that he can't just get everything he wants.
Greenland residents aren't enthusiastic, and the territory's leaders insist it's not for sale. The foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark sat down with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio Wednesday to reiterate that claim, but the administration is keeping the pressure on.
Greenland plays a critical role in protecting both North America and Europe from incursion. That needs to be in control of someone who's even stronger than NATO. That's the United States of America.
There's possibilities to accommodate the concerns of the president, while we at the same time respect the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark.
And after President Trump said the U.S. would get Greenland one way or the other, Denmark's defense ministry is ramping up its military presence around the island. Any U.S. military intervention in Greenland would be against the wishes of lawmakers here on both sides of the aisle. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, the U.S. is moving people out of its bases in the Middle East as it weighs a response to Iran's brutal crackdown of anti-regime protesters. This afternoon, President Trump suggested the government may be changing course amid widespread international condemnation. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the details.
The U.S. is telling personnel at certain military bases in the Middle East to leave, a sign its response to Iran could be imminent. It comes as horrifying images from the regime's brutal crackdown on protesters begin to surface despite limited internet. Bodies could be seen lined up at a morgue.
We are talking about using military weapons, AK-47s, armored trucks to shoot to kill unarmed protesters. Their bodies are being picked up by bulldozers.
A human rights group estimates the death toll is upwards of 2,000, but some say it could now be far higher. And Iran has signaled it could begin quick trials and formal executions.
We have been informed by very important sources on the other side, and they've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place.
Iran's exiled crown prince tells Fox the people have been energized by President Trump's words and are ready to be liberated. The current regime says it is prepared to retaliate, with nearby U.S. bases being likely targets. Iran's foreign minister blames outside forces for stoking violence in the streets.
They wanted to drag the president of the United States in this conflict, so they started to increase the number of deaths by killing ordinary people, by killing police officers.
After the U.S. struck Iran's nuclear sites last June, its retaliatory strikes against a U.S. base in Qatar were mostly intercepted and did little damage. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, President Trump is urging Iranian protesters to keep pushing back against the regime, telling them help is on the way. Speaking in Detroit today, he condemned the killing of protesters and canceled meetings with Iranian officials until the violence stopped. Now, meanwhile, exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi says Iranians are ready for a new government, but uncertainty remains about what could follow. Austin is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, hotels are filling up fast as the FIFA World Cup approaches Kansas City. We look at their creative ways locals are making room for the massive crowds.
Well, an extra blanket or two may be necessary tonight. It's considerably cooler than yesterday. we saw that cold front begin to push in. High pressure is going to begin to slide south. Our next system off to the southwest here, northwest here, that'll begin to roll in as we head into Friday and Saturday. Now, taking a look at what we can expect for this evening. Clear skies tonight, so cold air just continues to flow in out there. Temperature is going to be around 23 by midnight, down near 20 as we start our morning on Thursday. What it's going to feel like, though, as you're heading out the door, 15 degrees, so in the teens across much of the region there. So it's going to be a chilly start for us. So what are you going to want to wear as you're heading out the door tomorrow? Well, I shouldn't have to tell you this because it's January, so the winter coat should be at the front of the closet. But you're going to want the winter coat heading out the door tomorrow morning. Probably going to need some gloves, and we're going to see partly sunny conditions, so make sure you have those sunglasses. I got the knit hat there as well, and the tennis shoes should be just fine for tomorrow. 47 going to be our high, so we're going to see the winds back out of the southwest tomorrow. That's actually going to bring in some moisture into the area. Notice winds are fairly calm as we start the morning, becoming southwesterly and then a little bit breezy as we head into the afternoon. Could see an isolated gust around 20 miles per hour. But those southwesterly winds are going to bring in some moisture heading into Friday. That could help an isolated precipitation chance. We'll talk about that in a second. But winds shift back out of the northwest Friday, bringing in gusts right around 30, maybe 35 miles per hour. And then again in the weekend, oh man, those winds are going to feel very, very blistery out there as we head into the weekend. So just keep an eye on that and make sure that you have a scarf or something for the weekend. We'll talk about why in just a second. But here we are Thursday morning, near mid to upper 40s. Heading into Friday, here's where that moisture comes into play. The potential of just an isolated brief shower could have maybe a 1/100 of an inch of rain in some areas, just an isolated chance. But we notice that cloud cover moves in. So really, with colder air, allows moisture to build in a little bit quicker. So any of this cloud cover could drop a drizzle or two there. But heading into Saturday, our flow changes out of the north here. So that is going to bring in some much colder temperatures for the weekend. Check this out. 2 degrees Saturday night into Sunday. That's what it's going to feel like. Could even see temperatures below 0. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast and what you can expect here. Saturday, 32 degrees. Overnight, 10 degrees there. 35 on Sunday. Heading into Monday, 34. Temperatures riding back up on Tuesday, 45. Back into the 50s by the middle part of next week. So we're seeing the up and down trend once again. But again, it's January. Keep the winter coat at the front of the closet.
I am going to have to make a comment about that winter coat. That was a heavy parka. Are we at that point yet? Like really that cold?
Well, especially for this weekend, you see below 0 out there. I mean, hot cup of coffee and hand warmers in the pockets. I mean,
maybe you do need that heavy of a coat. Yeah, I wouldn't wear a white one though. All right, thanks, Austin. Well, still ahead, the Labette County Grizzlies basketball team is playing their best basketball in recent weeks. Coming up in sports, we'll hear from the team as they look to translate their season from the football field to the basketball court.
The Labette County boys basketball squad is hitting their stride, winning 3 of their last 4 matchups. And as we get closer to playoff time, the Grizzlies look to be playing their best basketball. For this squad, it all starts with their senior duo of All-State point guard Kagan Bates and Barrett Heston. Bates and Heston are both 3-year starters, becoming the go-to guys for Labette County. And sharing the court is nothing new for this pair growing up together as teammates.
Important for our younger guys to see that. They've been through many games with our varsity team. Kagan's really an extension of the head coach. He's our point guard. He knows exactly what we want as a staff. Barrett just leads by example all the time. Always does the right thing. A good leader on and off the court. Both of those guys are. So that's going to help us down the stretch. So big moments, we expect them to really perform and then carry us down the stretch at the end of games.
Kindergarten, first grade, we've been playing together. He's been the one that I've actually had to play with since I was a little kid. So chemistry is great. We play all 3 sports together and great bond together.
One goal for the Grizzlies this season is a Southeast Kansas League title. After winning a league championship on the football field this season, the team feels that their experience on the gridiron has changed the narrative around Labette County athletics.
Just having the experience of the playoff run, that's invaluable. You get that feeling of, we got to go win this next game. So that's been a big goal of these seniors. That was our number one goal when we talked about it on day one, is try to go win an SEK title. To do that, we've got to come out and play complete games on the SEK night to night.
It's changing the culture here for sure. It's more of a winning culture now. Right now we're trying to translate that to the basketball locker room too, and I think we're going to get there real soon.
It's a huge translation, building a winning culture is big in winning, and a lot of us football players are now basketball players, and if they're not playing football, we're either wrestling or they're in the front row of the student section. So we're kind of building a winning culture, and bringing the winning from football over to basketball is huge.
Lebec County is back in action on Friday when they host Pittsburgh. Tip-off set for 7:30 from Altamont. The high school wrestling season continues in our area with a pair of matchups in Pittsburgh as the Purple Dragons boys and girls teams hit the mat this evening. Starting off with the girls match as Pitt battles Fort Scott in the inaugural fight along the Frisco. It was all Tigers in the early going. Peyton Head starting off strong with a dominant technical fall victory in the 105-pound battle. But here come the Dragons as Savannah Shires with the big takedown, leading to a pinfall victory for herself, tying a school record with her 68th career victory. Pittsburgh would take over from that point on. Let's go to the 145-pound bout where Brecken Campbell gives the Dragons the lead with this near fall to secure a major decision as Pitt defeats Fort Scott 49-26 in the fight along the Frisco. It's the crosstown throwdown in the boys match with Pitt taking on Frontenac. The Raiders come out firing, already leading, and Kason Morrison will add to it with this decisive pinfall win. The 126-pound match, and he has a message for the fans to quiet down. Frontenac wasn't done there though, as Cruz Pickle falls with a victory via pin as well in the 132-pound bout, extending the Raiders' lead. Purple Dragons looking to fight back though, and it's the freshman Luke Jones with the reverse takedown, securing a pin for himself. But the Raiders win the crosstown throwdown, defeating Pittsburgh 45-35. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
The FIFA World Cup is coming to the United States this summer. Teams representing a record high 48 countries are set to play matches in 16 host cities across North America. That includes 6 matches in Kansas City, where they're prepping for visitors from around the world. Fox Multimedia reporter Oliviana Calms is there.
Kansas City tourism officials say they are pumped to have visitors from all over the world, but that means the race is on to get ready in time. Hotel owners and even homeowners are making space for all those people. One guy even telling me he's renting out his own home.
I will actually be moving back into my parents' basement. The opportunity is just so large here that it would be silly not to take advantage of it.
Not many things would make you eager to move back in with your parents, but renting out your home during the World Cup might. Kansas City is preparing for an estimated 600,000 visitors this summer.
Everyone's about to show up on our doorstep.
And with hotels booking up months in advance, space is becoming harder to find.
Everything is going to be booked. I mean, I would imagine there's going to be people in tents in the streets.
The local economic development group Visit KC says this area has about 36,000 hotel rooms, but World Cup officials have scooped some of them up.
There are hotels that have contracts with FIFA that are on lockdown right now.
Nelson says some of those rooms are still available for now, but that could change quickly.
It's certainly weekly meetings with hotels and the KC 2026 staff to make sure we're in front of everything. We haven't heard anyone say we're completely sold out.
One hotel under construction says they aim to open right before the first match.
And there'll be a cocktail lounge area, and then you'll pass a coffee shop.
The people behind it tell me the timing is tight.
It's exciting and scary at the same time because there's a good chance we'll have been open by just a week or two.
KC is the smallest of the 11 U.S. host cities, so the hotel owners say they expect many will be looking for rooms outside of the core city as well.
So it has to branch out to Topeka, Lawrence, even as far as Columbia.
Now might just be a good time to book if you're looking for a better deal.
A lot of people are last-minute buyers, but we do know that the demand is going to be more than the supply.
And to encourage it even more, Kansas City is offering a discount on short-term rental permits from May to the end of July just for the World Cup. In Kansas City, Missouri, Oliviana Calmes, Fox News.
Up next, superheroes unite in a new trailer, plus Grammys and Broadway news. The Marvel Cinematic Universe crossover expands and more stars head to Broadway. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Of Wakanda.
Then superheroes unite. Uncle Joe takes a trip and Noah takes a final bow in the Hollywood Nation. Trevor Noah will host the Grammy Awards for the 6th straight year, marking his last time emceeing the show after taking over in 2021. It will also be the last time the ceremony airs on CBS before moving to ABC and Disney Plus next year, with Disney holding broadcast rights through 2036. The 68th Grammy Awards airs live from Los Angeles February 1st. Adrian Brody and Tessa Thompson make their Broadway debuts this spring. They will star in The Fear of 13, a drama based on the true story of Nick Yaris, a wrongfully convicted man who spent over 20 years on death row. Brody reprises his role as Yaris after starring in the play's 2024 debut in London. Thompson co-stars as a volunteer who forms a deep connection with him. Opening night is set for April 15th.
My boy, the world is tough.
Buckle up, Uncle Joe is hitting the road in today's first looks. Netflix dropped the trailer for Tyler Perry's Joe's College Road Trip, written, directed, produced, and starring Perry. The comedy follows Joe as he takes his grandson BJ on a cross-country college tour, which quickly turns into a lesson in real life. It starts streaming February 13th. Superheroes unite in Marvel's latest Avengers Doomsday trailer. The new footage brings Letitia Wright's Shuri, now fully suited up as Black Panther, together with Winston Duke's M'Baku, as Wakanda comes face-to-face with the Fantastic Four, including Ebon Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm, also known as The Thing. The film arrives in theaters December 18th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of beavers being pampered in Hancock County, Mississippi. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.